Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. I hope you're having a great week so far. Now today's video is going to be slightly different because I'm going to be showing you guys all of the gear that I use to film my videos, as well as my desk setup as well for editing and for working. Now when I'm filming, my desk setup is completely different to when I'm editing and when I'm working, so I'm going to split this video into two sections. The first section I'm going to look at all the gear and my desk setup when I'm filming, and then I'm going to show you guys my productivity or my desk setup when I'm working, when I'm trying to be productive and editing. And just to give you guys some context as well, I'm currently in the process of renovating and extending my house in the UK, so I don't have a permanent base right now. Currently I'm in Singapore, I've been here for a few months, but I'm hoping to go back to the UK pretty soon. And the reason that I've mentioned that and what it means is that I don't have a dedicated place for filming all of my videos right now, and you'll probably have seen if you've watched any of my other videos that my background is constantly changing. But anyway, this video is to show you guys that you don't need a fancy setup, you don't need a massive YouTube studio or anything like that to make videos and upload on a consistent basis. And if you're enjoying the video so far, guys, please hit the subscribe button, give this video a like, and let's get into it. Okay, so this is the behind the scenes and this is basically my setup whenever I'm recording a video, except usually the camera is on this tripod right here, but right now we're filming with it, so it's not. And there's basically a couple of reasons why I use this, which is the bedroom, to film my videos. Number one is because we have a 3-month-old daughter. She'll go outside and she'll sort of take over the living room and all the outdoor space during the day, so I can shut myself in here and get some peace and quiet. And number two, because of the lighting situation in here, I've got a nice white wall behind me. There was a few frames and things on it, but we took those off, so I got a nice white wall. And then the lighting as well, we've got nice lighting coming through the window here as well. As I said, I'm in Singapore, and in the afternoons in Singapore, it's usually quite overcast and consistent lighting coming in through there as well. So it's quite a controlled environment, and yeah. Now, as I said, because I'm always on the move, and this is actually the second apartment that we've rented whilst I've been in Singapore, I try to keep my gear to a minimum. So starting off then with the light. This is my Godox SR60W light. And you can get a much more expensive one. This is one of the cheaper versions, but it does the job. And this is the newer softbox to create a nice soft light on my skin. And yeah, as I said, one of the cheaper versions, but it does the job. And I've only got one because it's so massive. If I had more, it would just be too much. And then in terms of the camera then, because I've only got one camera and we're using it to film it now, I'll just pull out my phone and we'll start using the phone to show you the camera. Okay, so this is my camera setup when I have it on the tripod. Sometimes I also use it on the GorillaPod if I want to do some sort of vloggy style stuff and then quickly be able to set it up on the table like that. But yeah, usually I put it on the tripod. The camera itself is a Sony a7 III, and I bought this camera because it's really good for photo and video. It can record 4K up to 120 frames per second, which is great for when I'm outside and traveling and things like that. But for when I'm recording videos in an indoor environment like this, it's sort of that's overkill really. You don't really need this sort of camera to record YouTube videos, at least not the sort of videos that I put up on YouTube anyway. But yeah, when I set it up on the GorillaPod, I tend to sort of have it on the table, obviously. So that means that if I'm doing something on the table and I make movements, it sometimes moves the camera and the footage can be a bit shaky. So I prefer to have it on the tripod whenever I can because it's separated from the table. And if I'm doing anything here, the footage is gonna stay nice and smooth. But yeah, that's basically the camera. Okay, now I also use my iPhone as a monitor to see how I look in the frame and get my composition right. As I mentioned, this camera doesn't have a flip out screen, so I can't just turn that around and see myself. So I have to use the phone. I know that a lot of YouTubers and a lot of people who create videos online, they use a proper external monitor. But for me, because I'm always moving around and because I wanted to keep the cost to a minimum, I don't bother with that. I use the Sony app within my phone, and yeah, it does the job. Now, in terms of the microphone that I use this Rode Video Mic Pro, which is a shotgun microphone. So it's good for when I'm out and about, as well as when I'm in here recording videos inside as well. And sometimes I forget to turn the aircon off. So what I do is put it on this stand, get it as close to my face to keep the audio as crisp as possible. As well as the big main light, I do have a couple of small ones that I use to balance the light on my face. Because I put this at an angle where it creates a bit of shadow on this side of my face, I use these sort of to bounce some light off of the table or to put it more direct, just to fill in that light on this side of the face so it's not too dark. And as well as that, I always have my laptop just out of frame here. Well, usually it's out of frame. Sometimes I'll have it a little bit in the frame if I want to show part of it. Usually I'll do that if I'm doing a tutorial or screen sharing something on my laptop. But yeah, because I script all of my videos, I always have Microsoft Word open on my laptop here to prompt me if I forget what I wanted to say. But yeah, I'll talk more about the laptop later when I talk about my desk setup for working and for editing. Now, in terms of the desk as well, I basically always use whatever's available. Because this is a rented apartment, it came furnished. This is the desk that came with it. And yeah, I'm happy with this desk. It looks fine and it does the job. I do think that it's easy to get bogged down sometimes when you think that you have to have the perfect desk, you have to have the perfect setup and things like that. And sometimes people don't create videos because they don't have what they think they need. But half the time, just creating the video and getting them out is all you need to do. So sometimes I'll have the desk in front of me and sometimes I'll have it behind me. If I want to create a bit more depth, I'll put it behind me. But if I'm creating sort of a tutorial video or something like that, I'll put it in front of me like it is now. Now, when I'm not filming, I reconfigure the room like this. And this is my desk setup for planning videos, editing, and doing other work as well. The desk, as I mentioned, came with the apartment. And I've used so many different desks before, there's not much more to say about it really other than that I think it looks pretty okay and it does the job. Now my laptop is what powers everything I do at my desk. I have a 2018 15-inch MacBook Pro, so it's a few years old now, and I got this one so it can handle my workflow in Premiere Pro when I'm editing. It's got a 16GB RAM, 2.6 GHz Intel Core i7 processor, and 500GB hard drive. Sometimes it does struggle though if I'm working on a big project or a long video, and when that happens, I found that creating proxies before editing helps a lot, and then it makes it a lot smoother when editing. Obviously for me, having a laptop is super important because I'm always moving around, and if I had an iMac, I wouldn't have that flexibility. Now the next thing that helps me so much with my workflow is my monitor. This is a 34-inch widescreen monitor from a brand called Prism Plus here in Singapore, and I have an app that allows me to create keyboard shortcuts and then really quickly shift windows to different areas of the screen. And if I want to, I can also split it into 2 different segments just like this. And then for editing, I open Premiere Pro and I stretch it across the whole screen. And if you want to find out why I've got a video here of me eating cereal, check out my TikTok, link in the description. Now in terms of accessories that I'm always using, I have my 1TB Samsung T5 SSD. I always keep my video on the hard drive when I'm working. I never keep it on the laptop itself. I used to use my old Lacy hard drive, but upgrading to this SSD has been a game changer. I also have a USB-C adapter to connect my monitor to my MacBook via HDMI, and I use it for my SD card as well. I've also got a wireless keyboard and mouse as well, although I don't really use the mouse very much because I find that the Apple trackpad on my laptop is just so much better, but I do use the keyboard. And then we've got the chairs. I have 2 chairs, one for filming and one for working. The reason that I have 2 is because the one for filming just looks better and it goes better with my setup, and it's a chair that I already had. Lastly then, in terms of the overall look of the desk setup, well, this isn't something that I care about too much because, as I said, this isn't my permanent desk, so I'm just happy that it's functional. And that's it guys, I hope that you enjoyed seeing my setups and that it showed you that you don't need loads of expensive gear and a really fancy setup to be able to make YouTube videos and upload on a consistent basis. I still make videos in my bedroom and I have to shift it all around every single time, but you know what? It does the job, and until my house is ready in the UK, I'm gonna keep filming like this. And guys, drop a comment down below, let me know what you thought about the video. Please give this video a like as well, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time.